Aloha! All right, today we want to show you how to get your lawn to look like this and to the lawn that you've always desired. This is a honed in, experimented, and dialed in 10-step process on how to completely renovate your lawn. There are some ways you can modify this, but at the end of the day, we've tested, we've added some steps, we've decreased some steps, took some things out. We've come up with this solution. It's just 10 steps. If you stick to this process, you'll have an amazing lawn that goes from the yellow, dead, bumpy, whatever problem you may have, to just smooth, green, and thick and luscious, best lawn in the neighborhood. There are many factors to take into account when implementing this process. Everybody's yard is different. Everybody's lawn situation is completely unique.
The first step in the Aloha lawn process is to mow low.
Some things to think about when you're mowing low is how bumpy is your lawn? What kind of obstacles are you dealing with? Do you have a bunch of rocks in your lawn? Do you have really high concrete sidewalks that you have to run into? These are the things you have to think about when you start to mow low. You might not be able to go straight to level 1. You might have to start at a level 3 and then work your way to level 2 and then maybe a level 1, depending on your situation. Because 1, you don't want to ruin your mower, your blades, or any other equipment you may be using. So be cautious of that.
So the reason we mow low is because it dies quicker and it's easier to top dress. And it also prevents additional top growth.
And with that being said, we're going to go right into step 2, which is
kill your lawn.
What do we mean by killing your lawn? We don't mean torching it, lighting it on fire. We just mean spraying down some non-selective herbicide and maybe a couple other products to make sure everything that your lawn has, weeds, grass, whatever, they all die. Glyphosate for us has been the best product to use. It's a non-selective herbicide. It kills 95% of the things that you find commonly in your lawn.
Right. The glyphosate we use is 41% Glyphosate Concentrate.
There are a few things like clover that it will not kill. Doesn't matter the dosage. We've tried to up the dosage. In addition is products like Speed Zone or T-Zone for us. And that in combination with glyphosate has really helped us to fully kill the lawn for a total reset.
When using these products, they're very harsh chemicals, so make sure that you are using PPE. Use a mask, gloves, wear boots when you're spraying. It's highly recommended. Wear safety glasses.
Follow the safety protocols listed on the bottle.
After using these products, depending on the weather or the time it is, so for us in the summer, we usually wait about a couple weeks and it's ready to go. If you're doing this in the springtime, it's highly recommended that you wait 3 weeks up to a month to even start doing the renovation part. Let it cook.
Let it cook. Okay, step 3 is dethatching. All that dead material from when you kill the lawn in step 2, most of that will just come right up pretty easily. Dethatching is important because you are trying to eliminate and get rid of all that dead material from step 2 to allow for the new material coming up, for the new overseed to have as much space as possible so everything is not congested and cluttered.
In this case, we use a power rake on this lawn, which you can pick up at your stores, Home Depot, Lowe's. We picked this one up at Home Depot for about 4 hours and it was about $75.
There's battery powered ones that you can find on Amazon like Sunjoe or Greenworks. So there's many other companies out there that have dethatchers. So do your research, find a good one. We like to use the gas powered Clausen from Home Depot.
The dethatching process is to expose the soil and letting that lawn breathe.
Step 4, aeration. Aeration is a simple but super effective step in this process where you take a coring machine, you're punching holes in your lawn and pulling cores out. You can do a coreless aeration as well, where it literally just punches holes into your lawn.
The reason why this is important because it allows whatever top dress that you're using goes into it, allowing nutrients to get into those cores. It also allows for better drainage.
A couple tips when you are aerating. If your lawn is super compact and you find that when you step on it, it feels like concrete, that is a perfect scenario for where you should be aerating. Throw in a couple more aeration holes because compact soil is bad because the water will just sheet off instead of being absorbed into the ground. And if the water is not getting absorbed, the nutrients aren't being absorbed. So aeration is perfect for these situations.
Step 5, leveling. This process is used to help get rid of any types of bumpy ruts that you have in your lawn. You have a couple ways of doing it. You've seen us do it a few times where you have something low and you got to fill it back up, or you have a mound, we're using a leveling rake to kind of smooth it out.
Leveling is just a term that we like to use just because of the way we like to do it with the 2x4 and screeding. The goal of this step is just to smooth out your lawn as best as possible to ensure that you have the best mowing experience. Nobody likes it when you're mowing and it's just, you're going up and down, it's bumpy, you're scalping areas. All of a sudden your wheels just get caught because it goes into a little pothole. Nobody likes that. This step here is to remedy that. This step is to allow for smooth transitions from your sidewalks, your driveways, into your grass, so your mowing experience is enjoyable. One thing to think about when you're leveling is the type of material you're using. If you are trying to accomplish a really level lawn or really smooth lawn, you want to find something that is really high in sand. It's great for drainage. It allows water and nutrients to go through the sand and into the root system. Also, the leveling properties of sand is the best by far. If you're looking for level, smooth lawns, find something that's really high in sand.
In this case, we use sandy loam, which is 80% sand and 20% soil. So it has that perfect combination of high in sand with the nutrients of the soil. After we do the leveling process, we like to roll it in. That way it compacts it down and lets it settle into the lawn. After rolling, we do like to use the lawn leveling rake to break the surface and get rid of any imperfections.
Step 6, we're finally here. Seeding. Seeding is a step that separates the really good lawns and the decent okay lawns. When you go to big box stores, you're gonna find on the label, easy patch. They see quick, fast, and growing. These kind of names, when in fact, they're just putting weeds back into the lawn, and then you're gonna find yourself starting this process all over again. Finding a really high quality seed, like Nightshift, like Dark Legend that we used here today, is super important because it allows yourself to have disease resistance, highly tested products that give you the best results.
Keep in mind 2 types, right? You're in either in warm season grass or cool season grass. We're in the cool season. We like to use Perennial rye.
Perennial rye is very awesome in this cool season climate zone because of how fast it germinates. It'll germinate in at least 7 to 10 days. If you get into the Kentucky Bluegrass, it may take up to 21 days, 14 to 21 days. If you get into tall fescues or fine tall fescues, it might be even longer, 21 days or even longer. We love the Perennial rye because it is incredibly dark. It germinates super quick, so you get results like that. Within a month, you're mowing. When you're seeding, don't be afraid to put down extra. The common rates that you do when you're doing a full reset like we have here in a full renovation is about 10 pounds or so per 1,000 square feet. Now, we like to put down closer to like 20 pounds per 1,000 square feet when we do a renovation like this. We want thick lawns right off the bat in that 3-week period. Never will you find a time where it's gonna be 100% coverage off the first mow. You will have bare spots, you will have thin patches, and you're gonna have to keep overseeding. So be mindful when you buy seed, buy extra. If you know you're gonna have 1,000 square feet or so, and you're going to seed like this and do a renovation, buy 30 or 40 pounds and double the rate, just knowing that you're gonna be putting more down later. Step 7, fertilize. Whenever you're putting down new seed, especially when you have a product like sandy loam that doesn't have a ton of nutrients in it, you're gonna need to supplement that with some sort of fertilizer, some sort of nutrients. You need to pick a starter fertilizer that works best for you. In this case, we use Scott's starter fertilizer. It has small prills, really fast release. We've had great results. You've seen them. Make sure to read the label. When it comes to seed, like what we talked about, you can put down at some pretty high rates, some crazy rates, add more if you need. When it comes to starter fertilizer or any kind of fertilizer, you wanna put down the recommended dosage, or else you'll have burning, you'll have other complications down the road. Typically, when you use starter fertilizer, you're gonna be finding a lot of granular products. If you like to use liquid, there are some liquid starter fertilizers out there. Be sure to be on the lookout for those.
So the first application of starter fert is to promote germination. For the second application, about 10 to 11 days, it's to promote growth.
There's a couple things to be mindful of when you are putting down fertilizers is the spreaders you use. We found that if you use like a cheaper spreader, you could have fertilizer lines and streaks in your lawn where the spreader will like throw the fertilizer to hit your wheels, and then that's where the fertilizer ends up. So be mindful of the spreader you use. We like using handheld spreaders because we feel like you have a little bit more control on where you're putting it, how evenly spread it is, etc. Step 8, seed to soil contact. If you made it this far, you are at a really crucial step in the process. Seed to soil contact is super important for saving money. If you're gonna spend money on quality seed, you put down a lot of seed, fertilizer, all these different products, you wanna make sure that seed actually takes and actually germinates. You don't want that seed to get washed away or just get burnt up in the sun. What do we mean by seed to soil contact?
So after the seed and fert has gone down, we'll take a rake and rake it in. It's best to go multiple directions, go north, south, east, west. We also like to go over it with a roller. That way it compacts it into the soil.
The step is super basic and simple, but really important because if there are air gaps between your seed and your soil, there's no way for the root systems to establish in that germination process. So when you close the gap and press that seed to the soil and get that seed to soil contact, that's where the magic happens. People do some crazy things when they try to accomplish this step. I've seen people roll over their lawns with their cars.
Yeah.
You know, people will stomp on the ground.
They'll stop, drop, and roll.
People do whatever is necessary to accomplish this step because of how crucial it is. So be mindful when you put down this nice seed, be sure to rake it in, roll it in, get that seed to soil contact. Step 9, protection. Now that you've put down your quality seed, you fertilized it, you raked it in, you rolled it in. Now, especially this time of year, we're doing these summer overseeds. You want to protect that soil, protect that seed, and put something down that'll absorb some water and retain moisture.
The products that are available for the protection, peat moss compost. We like to use peat moss.
Testing this particular step, I've tried it at my house, we've tried it at other sites as well. If you don't put down your peat moss, your success rate drops significantly. When you do put peat moss down, your success rate just goes through the roof. You'll know quickly whether your protection, whether it be peat moss or compost, is actually working just from how fast it germinates in other areas where you do have coverage and protection versus other areas where you don't. Always buy a little bit extra. So if things do wash with your sprinkler systems or irrigation systems, you can fix those areas. Or if some places get a little extra dry, you can sprinkle a little bit more peat moss or some compost to help retain some of that moisture.
In these summer renovations, peat moss is the secret sauce. It's crucial in this heat. So peat moss helps retain water and acts as a shield and kind of like a greenhouse in protecting all of the seed.
This takes us to step number 10, the final step. Step 10 doesn't have to be the last step in your process, but it definitely needs to be in your process. Irrigation, watering is absolutely the most important part of your renovation. Without water, none of this is possible.
We showed it a couple ways here. We have above ground irrigation, you have the in-ground irrigation. If you already have this irrigation system in place, there's still things that you got to think about when it comes to watering.
There are two different kind of sorts of watering schedules that you need to look into. The first being a germination schedule. Germination schedule, you're gonna have more watering times throughout the day, at least 4 during the day for a little bit less time. So it's only keeping everything moist without going too deep. 5 minutes to 15 minutes, depending on what kind of system you are running. We're gonna have a bit lower in times, but more frequency throughout the day. The other type of watering schedule that you'll have is after germination, when you're trying to maintain your lawn. Typically, this one would be like a long and deep watering schedule where you're watering for a bit longer, doing like 20 or 25 minutes or even 30 minutes, and then also dropping the frequency down to maybe 2 to 3 times a day, depending on how hot it is, your climate zone, etc.
So there are a couple types of sprinklers systems that you can be using. You got stationary, you have gear drives. Pretty much you're looking for anything that covers your lawn and does it in an efficient way.
Another thing to be mindful of is try to find a timer so that everything is automatic. Nobody likes going to work for 8, 9, 10 hours a day, coming home and having to water their lawn. One, it's not very effective. Two, you won't get the amount of water that is necessary to have a nice lush lawn. Three, you're supposed to be doing that 2 to 3 times a day, maybe even 4 times if you're looking for germination. So how are you gonna be at work and at the same time watering at home? There's a lot of different factors that come into that. So you're trying to find something that assists you in watering consistently and easily, like a B-Hyve timer or a rainbird timer or some sort of timer where you can hook it up to the spigot, set it, and leave it alone. All right. Okay. Thank you so much for joining us on this process video. We've shown this process a few times now. You've joined us on Brada Derek's journey, Gary and Anita's journey, our journeys a little bit, and we just wanted to help break things down for you guys, show a little how-to on really the basic necessary steps to accomplish the results that you guys already have seen.
You guys seen the results. Quick recap on the 10 steps. Mow, kill, dethatch, aerate, level, seed, fertilize, seed to soil contact, protection, irrigation.
These 10 steps we feel are essential to the renovation process. Like we said earlier, we've taken some steps out and it hasn't yielded the same results as if we left them in. We tried to add some stuff and that's always good, but we wanted to try to hone it into these essential 10 steps. What's great about this particular process as well is it doesn't necessarily just apply to full renovations like this. You can modify it a little bit to apply to an already existing lawn that you have that's really good condition and you just want to do a fall overseed or a fall renovation where you don't have to kill it off. You can just mow low and do the other steps as well. So this is just a guide to help you throughout your journey, wherever that may be. If you really want to go into a little bit more details, if you have some questions on, oh, how did they level there? Or how did they install that irrigation system? How does that thing work? So we go through these different types of steps in our process in a lot more detail. You just have to check out our other videos. Feel free to drop a comment down below. Ask your questions. We are happy to answer them. You can send an email to us as well. We'll be happy to reach out and help your situation out as well.
Also, if you followed this process, we'd love to see the results. Send us pictures.
Please, that would be amazing. We'll post some pictures for any of those who send it in to our email. If you got some nice lawns, we want to see what kind of mower you're using, see them stripes, see how green your guys' situation is. I know it's been hot up here in the Pacific Northwest, so if you got a green lawn, I want to see that for sure.
Yes.
Mahalos for tuning in.
Don't forget to spread that aloha. See you next time.
All right.